Hello Virgo, hello and welcome to your tarot card reading for the 4th week of August. This tarot card focus is covering 22nd to 29th of August. Virgo, what do we have here? In terms of crowning energy of this week, we have a Queen of Cups, and I pulled the clarifier on the top of it, which is Three of Swords. Then we have Temperance. We have Eight of Pentacles, and we have Seven of Cups. In terms of the obstacles, it's the Hierophant. In terms of the opportunity is Six of Wands, and the best way forward is Strength. And additional commentary, it's here, and I'm going to leave it until the very end. So, Virgo. The Queen of Cups is very persistent, and the Three of Swords, they're also very persistent. So Queen of Cups is might be representing the person, the literal person, but clearly might represent you or situation. And it's something to do, Queens that are representing things that in maturing process, they are in process of happening, and they are not close, that they're not representing completion. It's almost like nurturing process of something. Cups are representing emotions. It's just the way how we sometimes carry ourselves, the way how we express ourselves emotionally. And Three of Swords, it's representing some kind of worry, something that is on the back of our way of thinking. There may be hurt emotions, hurt ambition, but equally might be just you might feel very blue and feel kind of feeling of loss actually. Or you might perceive yourself as someone who is, in inverted quotes, kind of damaged, or someone with the baggage, because of what has happened before. And it almost feels like whatever has happened before to you, it's kind of is on the forefront of the way how you perceive yourself and situation in this week. Temperance is here to tell you that your intuition is serving you well, that if you want to take things if you want to take things slowly, take them slowly and consider. Don't jump to any conclusions, don't make any swift choices. Allow things to happen and judge them accordingly, and employ your reasoning, not your emotions. Hold your emotions at bay. Focus on what is it that you have to do and achieve. It's almost like they are coming to tell you focus on here and now, and don't think about future. You might be going into the future way ahead. And because you go way ahead, you might have a feeling of despair, because how am I ever going to get there? But what you're looking at the future, there only are possibilities, and the things that you would like, it's almost you have to prioritize this week. What is it that you want? What is it that you really want? Because what you want is one thing, but what is needed is another. And it's almost you are too ahead of yourself. You might be too ahead of yourself this week. So what they say, you have to, your practicality, your rationality take the lead that week. And if you indeed feel that kind of you have that baggage, you might feel emotionally kind of defective or broken for whatever reason, if that is the case. It's almost, I feel like you would like to share it with someone, but what I would say, wait. If there is something, it's like you might have the urge to say something about the way how you feel. But what they say, don't rush to it. Don't rush to it. Focus on what you have to do now. There are certain things that have to be delivered. I don't know if that is job-wise or whatever. Focus on this, and it almost you feel kind of out of balance for whatever reason, because there is no bridge between your emotions and your way of thinking. And you might be jumping to the conclusions and you might be too far ahead. So they say focus on now and focus on your own motivations, why you're doing things in a certain way. Because if you feel, because you have been hurt, you have been betrayed, this is not defining you. And if you can see the difference between who you are and what has happened to you, and realizing that you are defining yourself, and if you allowed certain situations that were in the past to, we learn from them, but they don't define us. So it's almost the new perspective is needed for you. That's how it feels. And in terms of obstacles, you have a Hierophant, so maybe to do with education, your company, things are being too stagnant or too rigid, or you're waiting to hear, or you cannot get through. So there might be a number of different reasons, but they say opportunity here is to take your own initiative and do things in your own way and take the leap of faith in this situation. And the best way forward is strength. So once again, it's to strength and fear. You know what? It's overcoming the anxiety, overcoming the fear. It's not because we don't feel any emotions. We don't feel fear. We don't feel feeling of being ashamed sometimes, ashamed of we done something or something has happened to us. It's to do things regardless of how we feel and push yourself to overcome that feeling. And that's what you should have bear in mind this week, Virgo. So what is the additional commentary over here? Don't bottle. You might have a lot of anger. There might be a lot of unsolved emotions running through you. And if that's once again, it's kind of those cards talking about the same thing. The Queen of Cups and Three of Swords. They're talking about emotions. They are taking over, but in a subtle way. It's almost those emotions, they are motivating you, Virgo, to do things, and not always you're registering that those emotions that driver, that are motivation for it, because they're running so subtly in the background. So sometimes you don't realize it, and then all of a sudden you feel that kind of irritation, being frustrated. But because you are not allowing those emotions to process those emotions, and it's about processing them and understanding how they're affecting you and analyzing them and coming to, you don't have to solve everything in one go, but as they say, bit by bit. But to understand how deeply your own bottled emotions, things that you would like to erase or wiped out, that are affecting you, because you might kind of have that way of thinking like, oh, this never happened, or you kind of putting it aside like never took place. But what they say, it did take place. it did happen. And it's about taking the learning from it, but not allowing this to define you. You are the one who's defining yourself. Here you go. That's the overall message for you for this 4th week of August. Please let me know if that has resonated with you by commenting and liking. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we shall speak soon. You take care. Bye.